Hiya, folks. Scott Review Guys on the phone.
Hi, everybody.
Chris, he's gonna turn that down just a little bit. It's been a long time, and we can't ramble. We can't start explaining our absence, but we will soon enough. But until that time, how have you been, Chris?
I've been good. How have you been, Scott?
Good, good. Did you say how have I been?
Yes. What else would I say?
I don't know. You rarely
Here you go.
You rarely inquire about my condition.
This is how it starts. This is how it starts.
Anyway, so I know what we said the last time you saw us. I've lost my train of thought. We said we'd make a video for the next 6 months, and then we didn't. Turns out, somehow we got locked out of our YouTube account. I tried to. That's a long story, and we'll tell you that some other time. But I found out how to get back in, and we tried to make a video at WrestleMania, but my computer deleted it as soon as we finished making it. But so this is our chance. So we're back for now. Watching SummerSlam, reviewing SummerSlam, and we're not gonna draw it out. We're just gonna do it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll have more fun stuff soon, hopefully. Chris is gonna be visiting me soon. So maybe we'll make a video with both of us together.
Hey, that'd be great.
See? Told you. So anyway, I hope everybody's fine, by the way. I often wonder about our old friends. I don't know if you even know that we're around, or if anybody will see this. But either way, glad to be here, and I hope everything is well with you and yours. So, SummerSlam, what do they call it? The biggest party of the summer.
Biggest party of the summer, yes, that's correct.
I remember. Oh yeah, the other thing is I have not been as faithful a WWE fan as perhaps I should have. My hair, I still have hair. It looks kind of dark in this thing. So do you see how it's I should have backlit myself. So everybody don't think that I don't have hair. But anyway, so I haven't been watching as much wrestling as I used to watch. Mainly because I don't have cable. I have the WWE Network, but then not being able to watch Raw and SmackDown makes me feel like I'm out of the loop. So I'm not as looped in as I used to be. I don't watch as many pay-per-views as I used to. So I will be ignorant as usual. You're used to this. Chris will be my source of information if I need a source of information. So there you have it. So
your source of information won't be as reliable as it once was either, because
we've fallen off. Do you see what happens, folks? We leave you, and then our lives just crumble.
They come in. We've done nothing literally for the past. I don't even know how long. That's how long it's been.
It was 2 or 3 WrestleManias ago when we made our promise to the people. Anyway. So. I actually missed the first hour of SummerSlam. I came home at 8 and said, great, perfect timing, click, and I see the Cena-Styles match. Hold that thought. Chris, tell me what I missed in hour 1.
So basically, what you missed, Scott, was a whole lot of nothing in a tag match and a fairly decent women's match that didn't go exactly the way that I thought it would go. I'll start with the tag match very, very briefly.
Yes.
You had Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens versus Enzo Amore and Big Cass. Now, I'm probably going to upset some people by saying this, but I'm not a big fan at all of this Enzo Amore fellow.
And I'm afraid I don't know who he is at all.
I don't understand it. I think it's way too much. Not a fan.
Okay.
Anyway, Jericho and Owens won that match. Next, you had the women's match, Charlotte versus Sasha Banks. Charlotte won that match. The belief is that she won that match because Sasha Banks is hurt. So that's pretty much what there was there. Oh yeah, there's one other match that you missed, Scott. I'm sorry. There was The Miz versus Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Championship. This was a very brief match. Don't know a whole lot about this Apollo Crews fellow, but what I saw reminded me of I can't even remember his name now. But he looked good. He looked like an up and comer.
Okay.
Interested to see more of him. Which led us to AJ Styles versus John Cena.
Where I started. Now, I sat down like the old days with a piece of paper and a pen, and I wrote down things that stood out to me, things that I could, would jog my memory that we could mention in the video. And I just kept writing neat things down that Cena was doing. Now, I'm not a huge AJ Styles fan, and I'm not a huge Cena fan, but I'm not a Cena hater. But I've got to say, I expected a lot out of AJ. I expected him to do good stuff, but Cena, to me, did great stuff. Chris?
Let me see. How do I approach this? I'm with Scott. I'm not a big fan of either one of these guys. I don't dislike AJ. I'll be honest, I didn't follow him a whole lot when he was in TNA, so I don't know. I know he's good in the ring, which he showed here. I know that this match in particular, I really Scott, it stood up in a lot of ways because I saw, at least primarily on John's part, him trying a lot of new things that we haven't seen him either do in a while or do ever before. And the big thing that I loved about this match is just at the end of it, you could see, the expression on Cena's face, oh God, I don't know if I can beat this guy, which isn't something you typically see from him. Mm-hmm. Of course, when he lost,
he took that thing off.
He takes the little armband off, and I don't think it means that he's given up or that he's going to call it quits or anything like that. But hopefully, from this, we will see some sort of real, not drastic character change from him, but something to freshen him up, especially now that they've done this whole draft split thing and he's exclusive to SmackDown. So maybe we'll see some new things from him, which would be nice.
Yeah.
Scott?
Yeah. I agree. But did you notice the audience, many of which hated him, as he was walking out, he seemed to get the respect of the people. I might have been misjudging things.
Well, and you see, let's be honest, a large part of that could be because he allowed someone to go over clean on him in a major pay-per-view.
Right.
That's not something that typically happens. Maybe that's what people saw. Were like, okay, yeah, way to go, Cena. Way to let somebody else get one. And I know it's not necessarily his choice, but that's the impression that a lot of people have.
Okay. So moving on. New Day
versus Luke Gallows
and some guy Anderson.
Carl
Anderson?
Yes.
That's a funny name.
Good old Festus.
That's right, Festus.
Yeah.
I have to say, I love New Day. I love them. And but what's so great is, in the ring, they're wonderful. They're very fun to watch. But then when they are, just their outfits and everything about them is so ridiculous. But at the same time, you have to respect them for what they can do. So I think it's a really fun balance, right? They're not ridiculous and you hate them. They're ridiculous and you respect them. Chris? You disagree?
I don't know. They've been around for a while. When they came around, they came in as heels, and you were supposed to hate them, but they turned into one of those teams that you very quickly learn to love. But I feel like over time, it's so in your face and so theatric that it just, to me, it starts to wear kind of thin, and it starts to feel like, okay, let's freshen this up a little bit. Let's introduce something new. Let's find a way to keep this entertaining, because I think that's what they obviously want to do, and it's entertaining to a lot of people. But I'm starting to feel like there are those people that are starting to turn on it and starting to say, okay, what else can you guys do? Let me see something else from you guys. Now, Gallows and Anderson, again, don't know a lot about these guys. I know that they're big in Japan and ROH and all that fun jazz, but, the whole match to me was just kind of, okay, what's next? What else can we see? What else have you got for me? Because it didn't do a whole lot for me, if I'm being honest.
Okay. Okay. Well, then moving on. Dolph Ziggler versus Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose, yes.
And I gotta say, that little, the video package they played with the promo by Dolph Ziggler, I thought it was pretty good. You don't think so?
No, hey, I agree.
I'm looking at Chris on the video over here, so I can tell.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking at my notes.
I don't know. Dolph Ziggler has always been, to me, good in the ring, and then not bad on the mic, but not outstanding. But it was great to hear him.
The problem that I have with this match is that, based on that video package, you get the impression, or I started to get the impression, that maybe Ziggler would go over on this. Right. All the talk beforehand was that he was going to lose, that it wasn't any big thing. But I don't understand, what is the point of presenting a video package that is led to make people really feel for him, make people think, okay, that push that you've all thought was coming, that you've all felt he deserved for a long time, here it is, here's the start of it, and then boom, it ends just like that. Because that's how I feel this was, because you have Dean, who is supposed to be a face, who, again, not another guy I'm not really fond of, that is just acting like a jerk throughout the entire match, because he feels like Ziggler is not worthy of his time, and then he just beats him clean and that's it.
Yeah.
So, where do you go from there?
That's a good point. In fact, that was my thought afterwards, was this kind of proves the point of the whole Ziggler promo thing about there being, did he say glass ceiling?
Yes, I think so.
He talked about, not being able to rise above where he is, and then he lost. And yeah, but I will say, Dean Ambrose usually bothers me. I usually can't even stand to look at him. His face, the facial expressions he makes just don't work for me. But this time I actually thought, yes, he was a jerk, but I thought he was at least palatable. Is that the word? Is that a word?
That's a word.
I could stand him this time. But yes, but then what's the point for poor Dolph Ziggler? Next, we have the Divas Tag match with Natalya, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Bella versus Carmella, Becky Lynch, and Naomi.
Becky Lynch and Naomi.
I thought it was good. There were a couple of little gimmicky parts, because for the most part, my brain is conditioned to think that all the Divas matches are, okay, I'll get up and get a snack, or I get up and go to the bathroom. But lately, certainly WrestleMania was a big moment for me, that I realized, hey, these are actually pretty good. These matches are going to be good. And I thought this was pretty strong. That one at the end where she was like kicking all three of them one at a time. Am I remembering that correctly?
I don't remember that, anyway. But that doesn't mean that it didn't. I'll be honest, I zoned out during this match.
Oh, see, and here I am, talking up the Divas. And you're being a jerk about it, like always. Anyway, Nikki gets the win, which I guess she had to, because she was the returning one. But yeah, not bad.
But she wasn't even supposed to be in this match. That's the thing. Eva Marie was supposed to be in this match. She was supposed to be that.
Oh yeah. They did that thing,
and she got suspended.
Oh.
So Nikki was a last-minute replacement. So you wonder what the original plan was for this match. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I'm sorry. I'll be honest. I felt like it was just a filler woman's match.
Yeah, it might have been a filler women's match, but I thought it was not unentertaining. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't unentertaining. It's more entertaining than most of the the pee break matches that we used to get from the women. But again, see, and that's one of the issues with this draft split thing is, what are these women even fighting for? Because there's no belt on their show.
There's going to be something. Just be patient. All right.
Alright, whatever.
So the next match is Finn Balor. I cannot say his name, even though they said it 1,000 times last night. Balor?
Balor, yes.
Balor.
Something like that, I think.
Yeah, because I wanted to write Ba, but then I was afraid I'd read it down.
Balor.
Finn Balor and Seth Rollins
Yes.
for the Universal title.
So we have to talk about this for a second. I'm sorry.
Okay. We're
This
gonna go.
big red
We've
belt.
already surpassed our 10-minute mark, but let's try not to go too far. Okay, keep going. Go.
Okay. This big red felt. Big red belt. Excuse me. Love it or hate it?
Me?
Yes.
Indifferent. I'm sorry that they got rid of the United States Championship.
They didn't get rid of the United States Championship.
Not United States. World Heavyweight.
I don't miss that belt. I was never fond of that belt.
I like it. I feel like there was a weight to it, but I don't see, besides the color red, how it differs from the other belt.
It doesn't, other than the color red, it doesn't. I think the Universal name is kind of hokey. They could have come up with something better.
Do you think
but
it's named after NBC Universal? Vivendi Universal, owner of USA Network?
I don't think that was the intent.
I don't know. Well, anyway.
But this match was, it started off slow. I started to wonder for a while, okay, let's get this rolling, guys. Come on. I expected more out of both of them. But toward the end, it really started to build. It ended up being a very good match, a very competitive match. And I feel like the right guy won. I like that they pulled the trigger. Don't so much like the news that I heard today that he's hurt and that he might actually have to do surgery and stuff. But
Oh, no.
yeah, it was nice at the moment to see them really say, okay, here's this guy that just came up, been here less than a month. This is his first pay-per-view in the company. We're going to put what will arguably be the top title in the company on this guy. I like that. I think it's refreshing, and I think it's interesting to see them take that approach with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to say that I would have been happy with Seth winning, too. I like Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
I always felt like he was the strongest member of the Shield, and I would have been fine with him winning it as well. So there really was no loser for me as a fan in this match.
Right. My only concern initially was, then I thought my way through it, but I like Finn a lot. I think he's got so much going for him, and I thought that a win for him could put you in the territory of, all right, who wins next? So where will they go after this? But I think there could be a very good Seth Rollins feud that'll stretch out a little while.
Yeah, I don't think this is the last we see of these two fighting each other.
Right.
Again, assuming Finn's not hurt to the point that he has to go out.
Right. So if Finn had lost, he obviously would have challenged to try to win, but now Rollins is going to challenge to try to win it back, or you know what I mean.
Right.
So, yeah. So then I went to sleep. And I woke up the next morning thinking that I would watch Rusev versus Roman Reigns, and then that would be it. Because I forgot about the Randy Orton match. So anyway, I found Rusev and Roman. It's nothing. There was no match. There was a beatdown, and then Roman injures Rusev. They take Roman back. Then he comes and spears him again, and that's that. Any quick thoughts?
I think the intent here was to make people not necessarily sympathetic to Reigns, but people like Reigns because he still gets a lot of backlash from the fans. There's still a lot of people out there that aren't fond of him, myself included. I'm not really crazy about the guy. He's bland. He's never been terribly interesting. But Rusev's the same way. I mean, they're like a carbon copy of each other in my mind. Either one of these guys. So I was indifferent to it. I didn't really understand why this went on after the Finn Balor Seth Rollins match, especially since it ended up not being a match, and knowing what came after.
Okay, tell me now. This is the thing. I have not had a chance to watch Orton versus Lesnar, and Chris said don't worry about it. So, Chris, you have the floor. Explain to us.
Essentially, what this was 10 minutes of Brock Lesnar going out there and throwing Randy Orton around, suplexing him. I think he suplexed him like 10 times. Don't quote me on that because I could be wrong. I think we saw Orton sneak a couple of RKOs in. That was about all the offense we got out of him. And I'm trying to think how to phrase this. It ends with Lesnar ending up back in the ring with Orton, on top of him, pummeling him, beating the crap, like legitimately, I think, beating the crap out of his face. And then we see Orton covered in blood. The refs come in, the techs come in, the medics come in. They basically call the match, call it a knockout. Shane McMahon runs out, trying to protect his guy because Orton's a SmackDown guy. Lesnar gets in his face. Lesnar gives Shane an F5, walks up the ramp. That's it. End of the show.
Well, what do you think that means?
The entire thing, again, placement in the show, assuming this was the intended outcome of the match, and I'm not entirely sure that it was. It just felt odd. It just felt like, okay, this isn't how a show like this should end. It was weird, and I still think you need to go back and watch it.
Oh, I will.
But
because I'm curious.
I'm just tired of this approach that they're taking with Lesnar. This, he's unbeatable. You can't do anything with him. He's just going to go out there and rough people up. And again, to me, as a fan of wrestling who wants to see some wrestling, it's not entertaining. I didn't particularly enjoy this. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. Thoughts?
I have no idea. I'm shocked. And especially, not shocked, I'm stupefied. No, anyway, the fact that they would do that after the Rusev thing, it seems like kind of a carbon copy in a way.
Exactly, and that's exactly it. It's like, basically, the last match of this show, traditional match, was Balor versus Rollins. We follow up with that after a non-match, two guys beating the crap out of each other, and the final match of the show, again, is one guy beating the crap out of another guy, and that's it. The ending of this show just felt incredibly odd, and again, I wonder if this was the way that it was intended to end, because I don't think Orton was intended to be opened up the way that he was.
Intended to be, meaning?
I think Lesnar was a little rough with him, rougher than he was supposed to be with him. So, but again, I don't know. I'm not, in the know with these sort of things. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't necessarily like the idea that they're pushing, or they're then going to push Shane to be the next guy that goes up against Lesnar, because I'm not a fan of this whole Super Shane deal. So again, if the show had ended with the Finn Balor Seth Rollins match, it would have been a happy ending. I think that's the ending we should have gotten. But, again, Lesnar is the commodity. He's, what people are paying to see. So give us something more entertaining if you're going to promote him this way.
Okay. Well, on that happy note, I'm going to, we're going to call it quits. So this is 23, almost 24 minutes. Well, it'll be almost 25 when we finish. So I'm sorry if it was too long for everyone. I do apologize. But glad to be back, and I hope everything's well with you. And please tell us how you are. Say hello, and, down below, and your thoughts as well, if you even made it this far. But anyway, I think maybe you did. But anyway, Chris, for now, and we'll figure some other ways to get together and whatnot in the coming months. So, Chris, final thoughts?
This is the first show that I've watched since WrestleMania. First full show. It was an entertaining show overall. I'm interested to see where things go from here. I don't like the thought that Balor might be hurt and that he might have to go out. We're going to hope that he's not, because I like that we're seeing a lot of fresh faces, particularly on Raw. And I think that's encouraging. I think that's good. And maybe it'll be good enough to get me back into watching on a more full-time basis because I have kind of lapsed. So, good show. Interested to see what's next. I think we should definitely try to do something else. At the very least, like Scott said, I'll be down in a month to Orlando, so we'll try to do something in person together.
Oh, and WrestleMania's in Orlando.
Yes, WrestleMania's in Orlando. So, I guess that's it, everybody.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, Chris says,
Peace, everybody.
adios.